Hello everyone, this is SanadisK, and today I am back with yet another Bloodborne unused content video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the unused items that are left in the game files, and there are a lot of interesting mechanic changes that were done to the game that we are going to be discussing today. So without further ado, let us begin. So the first batch of items I'm going to be talking about are the Carol Runes. Now, as you all know, Carol Runes did make it to the final game, albeit in a slightly different way. What we got was a runesmith Carol, student of Bergenworth, transcribed the inhuman utterings of the Great Ones into what are now called Carol Runes. The hunter who retrieves this workshop tool can etch Carol Runes into the mind to attain their wondrous strength. And throughout the game, we take these Carol Runes as they are, but originally that wasn't the case. The Carol Runes were actually supposed to be items that you take, or to be more exact, they are actually pages from the lost book of Runesmith Carol. The description reads from the pages is, a page from the lost book of Runesmith Carol. Carol devoted his life to transcribing the sounds spoken by the Great Ones. Read a Carol Rune to assume its form. Now, as you can see, I hacked in the Carol Runes into my game, and what happens when you use them is that you break the page and it will grant you the rune. Now, there is a slight possibility that this isn't the original concept that they went through as far as smashing it, but all of the unused Carol Runes do this. Now, there are multiple of these and each one gives you a different rune, and some names are actually different from the ones that we got in the final game, such as the Destroyer rune, which is now called the Claw Mark, the Odin Liaison, which is Formless Odin, the Liaison is Odin Writhe, and finally Reveler is Blood Rapture. I found this way actually making more sense in a way, but I don't think that we were supposed to smash the thing, but rather extract the rune by using the Rune Workshop tool, which makes more sense in that matter. And we can't talk about unused runes without mentioning the Guidance +3 rune. Now, I know a lot of people are searching through dungeons if that rune actually exists or not. The item itself is in the game, but you can't get it by normal means, even though it is mentioned in the guide that it can be found in Chalice dungeons, but nobody seems to be able to find it. Now, I took it to myself to search through the files of the game and try to find if this thing exists or not. I was able to determine how the item lot param works and how it links up with the area files. And for a start, the revered Great One Cold Blood doesn't exist anywhere sadly. But what surprised me is that runes are actually considered gems in the files. Now, after a lot of research about how they are represented in the files, I came to a conclusion to this matter. As you can see, this is the item lot param, which shows all of the items in the game, and basically the game uses this parameter to determine how items are sorted on corpses and stuff. Now, the way they are sorted is a very complex thing, and I did a small write-up in the description on that if you are interested in the technical details, but as you can see, we have the ID of 10-4000, and this is the initial guidance, and the description translates to Dead Meat Bird Clock Tower, which is where you get the original guidance rune. And the second one, which is 10-4001, translate to Ludwig Killed, and that is the upgraded version of the guidance rune. That is how runes are sorted, and sadly 10-4002, which is the Guidance +3 rune, it doesn't exist in the item lot param, which confirms once and for all the non-existence of the Guidance +3 rune in Chalice dungeons or the entire game. It had to be said and researched somewhere, so I'm really sorry to all of the brave tomb prospectors who spent countless hours searching for that rune. Of course, I have to give huge thanks to Nyx for his amazing tools to preview the param files of Bloodborne, so make sure you check out his Twitter in the description. So now that we are done with the Carol Runes, let us move on to some of the unused usable items. The first item we have is the Queenly Blood, and its description reads, Blood received from Annalise, Vile Blood Queen of Canehurst. Vile blood hunters who offer sufficient blood dregs are allowed the special honor of imbibing this blood. The essentially sweet gelatinous blood restores HP and temporarily speeds up stamina recovery. Now, from the description that we are reading, we can tell that this was actually a reward from the Covenant itself, and this makes complete sense really. Like, the only reward you get in the Covenant is a gesture, and that's only by giving one blood dreg only. But originally it seems like when you offered a certain amount of blood dregs or maybe just one, you are rewarded with some of the Queen's blood to help you on your PvP or PvE journey. It's a really big shame they removed this really. It would have been a more rewarding covenant that way, like you keep playing and like you get a sort of advantage if you get a lot of kills, you can say. Another item we have, which is in the DLC files, which is the Clock Tower Hunter badge. Now, it isn't very clear on what purpose does this badge have, but I can confirm that it is a badge just like any other badge in terms that it allows you to buy new stuff at the shop, but it isn't some sort of covenant reward or anything. Now, I loaded this into the game, but it didn't actually show anything new in the shops, but if my suspicion is right, I think it's going to be something related to the clock towers, maybe the Rokoyo, or maybe Lady Maria's outfit. We don't know what exactly would it be. The next couple of items only have names and icons, so we don't know exactly what purpose they serve. The first one is 910, which is bullet recovery. From the looks of it, would have given you bullets when used and to restore some of your bullets. Next we have is 121, and we don't have a name for this, but it sort of looks like tools you can use to take care of a doll, maybe? That's how Zully is seeing it, I'm not sure really, but maybe it's used to maybe somehow like upgrade the doll or something like that, I'm not sure. Now the next ones I'm going to be showing as a bunch because there's a lot of them, and they are the petrified blood gems. They all share the same description at the beginning, which is polished to gain a blood gem which fortifies weapons and adds various properties. And possibly they work in a similar concept as the unused Carol runes mechanic, and it's possible that they actually put the usage of these blood gems on the runes because their IDs are immediately after each other. The next couple of items I actually talked about before but didn't focus a lot of them, and these are the livers or living livers, it depends on the translation. The livers are the equivalent of boss souls in Bloodborne, so for example we have the liver of Father Gascoigne, and its description is the soul of Father Gascoigne, which kind of contradict each other in terms of story, but it's expected as it is very clear from numerous clues that Bloodborne actually started as a Demon Souls sequel of sorts. A lot of the existing bosses are actually there, but there are some changed names there. For example, Vicar Amelia is called Saint Laura. The Cleric Beast is linked with the liver of Father Norbert, in which we have heard the alpha NPC talking about, which is the head of the cathedral in the prototype version of the game. There is also the prototype names for some of the items that funnily enough describes some of them, like for example A Call Beyond is named the Anger of Cause, Beast Roar is called Reflected Light Wall, Old Hunter Bone is called Double Accelerator, and there seems to be an unused one called a Dangerous Follower, which is described as damage enemies that you touched without knowing. I'm not sure how this would have worked, really. Maybe if you're like hiding behind them, it's like it does something around you that hurts them. I'm not really sure. There's nothing we know about this, sadly. There's also the liver of the demon boss enemy or the lesser demon that we saw, so we can tell that it was a very early concept there. I was actually able to find him in one of the unused testing dungeon, and its heads are also funnily just trying to attack on the ground or something. And especially like there are some dungeons that don't work actually on the base game, and you have to have the Game of the Year edition to actually make it load. I'm not really sure what's causing this, like the difference between the Game of the Year edition or the original game, but I can definitely confirm that there are some dungeons only load on the Game of the Year edition, and there are some dungeons that even have completely different enemies in both versions. Like in the base game you find, let's say, a normal enemy, and in the Game of the Year edition you find an unused enemy instead, and in the same place. So it seems like they changed some of the testing dungeons. I'm not sure why for the DLC, since they didn't add anything really, but it's really interesting to think about. And the last thing we have are the unused Chalice ritual items. We have items like Ritual Vestige level 6 and Perfect Ritual Vestige. Same thing with the Cold Blood Flower Bulb level 6 and Tomb Mold Spore level 6 and Soaring Tomb Mold. Now, this shows that there were actually meant to be level 6 dungeons, but there is nothing left inside the files in terms of levels for them, sadly, and we don't know exactly what difference it would have made to the existing Chalice dungeons. Like, the maximum we have is depth 5, so sadly we don't have depth 6 in the game, but it was supposed to be planned. There's also a couple more items, which are the hidden and cursed incoagulable blood. There's also the vermiculum and the radiant eelworm. They all read as special material used in a holy chalice ritual. Strange creatures lurk in the nooks and crannies of the old labyrinth. They don't have any icons sadly, but seems like there was a lot of prototyping in terms of chalice dungeons, and there are a lot of unused like structures and like testing dungeons and all of that stuff in the file, and me and Zuli, we have already covered a huge amount of those. So guys, I wanted to tell you that I'm going to be using Instagram to post some of the stuff I work on, general gaming stuff, behind the scenes footage, and a lot of very cool stuff, so please make sure to go and follow me there. The link will be in the description, or just search for SanadSK on Instagram. It would be very appreciated. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.